This is going to be one of the craziest shows you've ever seen. I promise. Buckle up because I just want to show you the basics, get you caught up, make your eyes pop out of your head, and then I'm out. I will show you a lot more details tomorrow, but tonight's enough. You're going to want to share this, and you're going to want to tag your friends because they're at it again. The local crony cartel. Took me a little while today. There was a meeting in Panama City. And I had predicted, didn't I? I told you that they were going to set up Mayor Doc Rohan. By the way, there's a lot of evil in the air tonight. Evil in the air tonight. The co-conspirators, the crony cartel, are hard at work tonight. There was a meeting just an hour ago, maybe it's still going on, in Mexico Beach, where they're coordinating a false pretext to recall Mayor Michelle Miller. I'll tell you about that tomorrow. But today I got to tell you what happened in the morning in Panama City. Now, if everybody in Bay County does not see this show, I'm going to give up. This is what I predicted. This is what I predicted just last week. And WMBB is ready to attack Mayor Doc Rohan next week. Remember, I told you this, okay? I'll be there. I was there today. And it was even worse than I thought. The more I think about this over the past 2 hours, I no longer think that they are satisfied with the recall of Mayor Doc Rohan. I think they're going to try to arrest him. And when I say they, who am I talking about? I'm talking about Sheriff Tommy Ford. Or if it's not Sheriff Tommy Ford, then it'll just be straight up the state attorney, Larry Bassford. That's what he did to Michelle Miller. They prosecuted her last year when she was on the Planning and Zoning Board. They always do that, ruin your life, and then they drop it. They just always drop it. There's no consequences. They can persecute you falsely, put you through hell for months, put you in jail, get a mugshot for their campaign manager, Arthur Cullen, who runs the mugshot rag in town. Just it's a hit job, and they don't pay a price for it. You say, Bernie, that's quite a claim. Okay, watch what I'm going to show you tonight. So it was even worse than I imagined, actually. But so they're in Panama City this morning. The big developers want to get rid of Michelle Miller and Doc Rohan. They need their old crony mayors back. So they're setting up these false pretexts to recall them. Maybe they'll just settle with recalling Mayor Miller and arresting Doc Rohan. Of course, the charges won't stick because they're made up, and I'll prove it to you tonight. But essentially, Commissioner Josh Street led from behind. I mean, literally led from behind. He said he's going to spank Mayor Rohan. It didn't quite go that way, but he was levying all kinds of crazy-ass false allegations, demonstrably false, I'll show you. And Doc Rohan, to his credit, laughed it off, basically, and said, look, why don't you just spank me? To which, of course, Josh Street, because you'll find Josh Street in St. Andrew Bay or downtown Panama City eating lunch with Arthur Cullen, the dumpster diving scumbag with the mug rag. Boy, if I start rhyming, it's going to be a barn burner. And or Josh Street will be lunching downtown, heard it on Harrison, with State Representative Griff Griffiths, who's involved in this scheme to frame Doc Rohan. So here's what happened. Today, and they had several ideas that they were going to throw at him, and they decided to settle with this one. I might as well show you the WMBB hit piece first. Now, I guess first I need to explain to you what this is all about. And to do so, I'm going to pull up a document for you to see. All right, because the claims against Doc Rohan today by his own commission are off the charts. They accuse him of fraud and criminal activity. Oh, I figured it all out. You're in trouble now because I'll call it every step of the way. No, you won't, Bernie. We'll surround your house again. You're out of here. Okay. This might be the most dangerous show I've ever shown you. Ever. While this is going on, I'm sitting behind the local kingmaker who's, I think, based on information and belief, I think the local kingmaker, William Harrison's pulling the strings. As this was happening, as the accusations were being leveled against Doc Rohan by his own county, his own city commissioners, I'm sitting behind William Harrison. He's texting away. He's getting a million texts. He's texting back and forth. I can see the texts. They're like statutes, state statutes, highlighted, case law maybe, but look like state statutes. So there's this big coordination, texting back and forth, what to say, what to do. Watch, this is what I saw. This was my vantage point. See, that's William Harrison, the local kingmaker. Harrison, what is it again? Harrison Rivard Duncan, big lawyer. Who is he? Well, that's him during the break with he's on the right. There's Josh Street, who leveled the accusations again. See, Josh Street's the commissioner that lunches with the people with the state representative Griff Griffiths, who claims that Doc Rohan submitted a false document to his office. Griff Griffiths has accused Doc Rohan of criminal activity. This is the break. There's Josh Street. He's real proud of himself. I'll show you the clip where they talk about spankings. And there's William Harrison giving orders to the city attorney, Nevin, the very corrupt Nevin, what the hell's his name? Nevin Zimmerman. Look at that. That's during the break. Good job, guys. Here's what we're going to do now. So the story is, there's a big project that the residents don't like, but a couple of the commissioners and developers love. All right. They got a grant for like, I don't know, was it $9 million, something like that? And you'll hear WMAB even says, this is great. The only thing they got right tonight is they say the residents don't want the project, but the commissioners do. So Doc Rohan committed fraud. That is what WMBB said today. They didn't even contact Mayor Rohan, the subject of the story. This is the most off-the-chain story I've ever seen. This is the craziest story I've ever seen. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because I'm here in real time and I got it all figured out and I'm going to show it to you. So Mayor Rohan has been asking, is there any way to take the $9 million grant or whatever the amount is, however many millions the grant is? People don't want you to dig up the road and get doo-doo alerts and spill 1 million gallons of shit into the water and the neighborhoods. They don't want that. We'd rather repurpose the money. But all of the officials and the lawyers say, we can't do that. We can't do that. Well, Mayor Rohan doesn't believe them. So a couple of his constituents printed out a form that they filled out. It is an appropriations project form. You can print it out on the internet. You can fill it out and print it out, which they did, these two ladies. And they said, look, Mayor, we found this form. They've not been telling you the truth. It looks like you actually can repurpose the money. Here's the form. They filled it out. They typed it up, printed out a printed form. I'll show it to you. So we got to go to our state representative's office because this form has to be submitted by the state representative. The only person who can submit the form is Representative Griffiths. So the ladies filled it all out, and they showed Mayor Rowan. And Mayor Rowan said, this form is, you filled it out wrong. The numbers are, it's not right. It's incorrect. The numbers are incorrect. Let's see if I can help you fill it out. But I didn't even know about this form, he says. Why don't the three of us go to Representative Griffith's office, since he represents the people? And so they take the form to him. They talk to his secretary, because Griff's a busy man. So they talk to the secretary, or whoever it is at the front. Miss Smith, I believe. And she looks at the form that belongs to the ladies. They printed it out. Imagine you go to, I don't know, the DMV, you pick up a form, you print it out. I mean, you fill it out. You fill it out. It was the form belonged to the ladies. It was like an 11-page form. They printed it out. They filled it out. They showed the mayor. The mayor said, yeah, that's not, the numbers are wrong. The information's wrong. Let's go see if this even would work. So they go, he goes to the office with the ladies. And the secretary takes the form. And she says, yeah, this is not filled out right. Mayor says, yeah, that's what I was telling him. The form, I didn't even know there was such a form, but evidently there's a form. So the employee at Representative Griffith's office says, here, let me help you. And she writes all over the form. She writes, this needs to go here, or you do this. Yep, you've got the contact, the city manager, you got the mayor's name on there. So she wrote on the form. It's not Mayor Rowan's form. It's the lady, they printed it out, they wrote the form. He took him there. He never wrote on it. Mayor Rowan he touched it. Here, look it. You guys didn't do this right. But he never wrote on the form. It's not his form. The last person to write on the form was Representative Griffith's office. So Mayor Rowan takes it. He goes, I got a meeting tomorrow. I think this was almost 2 weeks ago, a little more than 2 weeks ago. So, okay, we got all these handwritten notes. Now we know such a form exists. I'm going to take this to the next meeting and talk to the commission. Folds it up, puts it in an envelope. Can't find it. It's not even his. It's the lady's form. But he says, I'll take this, and I've been asking them about it anyway, and we'll talk about it now that we've got this information from Representative Griffith's office. That's the end of the story. And so, well, the mayor then talks to the city attorney about it, Nevin Zimmerman, this guy that takes orders from William Harrison, the kingmaker. The guy on the left there, that's the city attorney. He says, okay, Mayor, I told you we really can't do this, but you've got some kind of form. All right? It's not the mayor's form. He lost the lady's form, Mayor Rowan. He could have burned it. He could have smoked it. It's not a public record. Now, the only thing that is a public record is he emailed the form to himself. You say, I knew there was something wrong, Bernie. The email itself is a public record because it's sent through email. It's just an email. It's an email of somebody else's form. Yeah, but Bernie, where do we get the form? I'll show you. I thought I pulled this up, but if you give me a second, I'll show it to you. You're not going to believe what I'm going to show you tonight. They are setting up. They're going to try to arrest Mayor Rowan, I think. This is crazy as hell. All right, I'm going to show you all the good stuff in just a moment. Well, I'm going to pull this up.
Have you received a speeding ticket for which you want no points placed onto your driving record? I'm El Saulene, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
All right. I've almost got it. Let's thank another sponsor, and I'll show you this public record that Mayor Rowan has destroyed in an act of fraud.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
All right, so before I even show you the the WMBB story, I need to show you this public record that was destroyed by the mayor in an act of fraud to divert money They are crazy as hell. All right, let me show you this. Let me show you the form. This is the exact form. This is it. This is in an email. Mayor Rohan was being so secretive, trying to divert money in cahoots with Representative Griffiths, who doesn't even like him. He likes his enemies. He never even submitted the form. The form was never submitted. It wasn't his form. But he emailed it to the attorney from Michael Rohan he emailed it to himself November 13th. You know how you send yourself a note? So he wants to he found this form, figured out how to fill it out correctly through the state representative's office for these ladies, and he's going to address it with the commission. But instead, the commission accuses him of committing fraud. All right, let's take a look at it. By the way, you can have your own copy of this public record illegal form. All you got to do, I'm serious now. Let me get you to the screen, and then I'll tell you how you can get one too. All right, let's see here. Oh, am I not able to show that? Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right, this is it. You see that? It says Michael Rohan to Michael. So he sent this to himself. This is the form that belongs to the ladies that they printed out. Look at this. Look. Ooh, so secret, so fraud, so much fraud here. So will somebody please do this? Let me look at your comments. Make sure you're even here. I don't even know if you're here anymore with the way they're not notifying me. So will somebody please do this? It's really simple. Go search right now for the Florida House of Representatives, and then I'm going to type this out. And then what you want to do, search for Florida House of Representative Appropriations Project Request. Okay, and then it's for fiscal year 24-25. All right, so do this right now, and then when you see this form, somebody post it here. All right, so Florida House of Representatives Appropriations Project Request. That's if somebody will post that link here. So the point that I'm making to you is that these two ladies went to the Florida House of Representatives website and they searched for Appropriations Project Request, and they found the form, and they filled the form out, and they printed the form. Does that sound illegal to you? They printed the form. So that's what you're supposed to do. Then you can do it yourself, or your organization, or you can get a mayor to do it. Now, if you ask the mayor to do it, the mayor himself, Mayor Rohan, would say, well, if I'm the mayor, I should probably see if the whole commission wants to do this. But I'm not opposed helping you figure it out, and then you all would have to submit it. But ultimately, it gets submitted by State Representative Griffiths if he so chooses, and he has to sign an attestation form. This document wasn't even ever submitted to anybody. It's just the lady's form. Okay, you see that? You can print it. You can fill it out. And if you fill it out, that's what you got to do. You fill out all the stuff. It's 11 pages. Just do the best you can. If you get it wrong, they'll tell you what to change. Look. All right, so the requester, the ladies filled it out. The ladies said the requester is Michael Rohan, requesting the state rep to do this. The contact is the city manager. All right, the ladies figured the best thing we can do is put the mayor's name on there, and the contact would be the city manager, Brandy. Okay, remember this. This is they filled the form out. It's their form. All right, they filled it all out. And then they brought this form I'm showing you. Hopefully somebody's printing it. Okay, they brought that form to the mayor, and the mayor looked at the form and said, this isn't right. It's wrong. You filled it out wrong. Let's go together, ladies. So they go to Representative Griffith's office, and his secretary, Griff's secretary, writes all over it. Yeah, he did all right, gave it back to him. Rohan puts it in an envelope, loses it. It's not a public record. It's just a printed form that belongs to ladies. Are you with me? Okay. Now let me show you how you ready for this? Now let me show you how WMBB reports the story. They didn't even call Mayor Rohan. Ready for this? This is the craziest shit I ever saw. This is crazier maybe than anything I've ever seen yet. If Mayor Anderson's watching, she's going, Bernie, you have a short memory. I know, Mayor. I'm just saying this is nuts. All right. Their headline is Tempers Flare. As Panama City mayor faces allegations of fraud, they're on it. They're doing their toxic propaganda to try to get him recalled. I think they're trying to get him arrested. I'll tell you why in a minute. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at how, boy, Amy, Amy Hoyt, what you're saying here, I like Amy a lot. I'm not a fan of Tom Lewis. Tom Lewis and I get it on because we don't get along, okay? To quote the great philosopher Muhammad who I think about every day and I adore. All right, so it's a true story. Miss Sarah Moon knows more about Muhammad Ali than anybody I ever met. Get to the story. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. Jeez, I cannot believe this. Here we go.
Drive walkway project took a strange turn during this morning's Panama City.
Okay, this has been doing this lately, so just let's give it a second here. Come on, WMBB.
Took a strange turn during this morning's Panama City.
I can at least read it to you if it does this. I'm going to try to refresh it. We'll get it. I'm not worried about this. We'll get this.
The controversy over the Beach Drive walkway project took a strange turn during this morning's Panama City Commission meeting. The controversy over the Beach Drive walkway project took a strange turn during this morning's Panama City Commission meeting.
The majority of the commissioners called out Mayor Michael Rohan for some paperwork he sent to two local state legislators. The paperwork involves the procedures for reappropriating the state funding for that walkway to other local projects. As News 13's Jack Cole tells us, some of the other commissioners say that Rohan went behind their backs and may have illegally destroyed public documents.
A last-minute addition to Tuesday's commission agenda proved to be explosive. Commissioner Brian Granger questioned Mayor Michael Rohan about his conduct surrounding the Beach Drive Pathway project. Plans call for a 1.5 mile pedestrian path along the shoreline on West Beach Drive. Commissioners are for it, but residents in Rohan are against it. Opponents have suggested the city ask the state to reappropriate the $8 million to a different project, but commissioners voted against that request. Tuesday morning, they accused Rohan of going behind their backs and submitting paperwork that would reassign the funding to the MLK Rec Center project. City officials discovered the document Monday after Rohan sent a copy from his personal email to his government email.
The problem, it seems, is that you went to Mayor or Representative Griffith's office to file an act on behalf of the city without coming to the commission first. That's what it seems like.
3 days before the form became public record, Senator Jay Trumbull sent Rohan an email confirming the money can't be moved without the city requesting state approval, and that even then, it would probably not be approved. But Rohan says two residents approached him about the paperwork.
They actually filled the form out and sent it to me and asked them if I would meet them at Representative Griffith's office so we could discuss the form.
Rohan claims he met with one resident who filled out the form on November 13th, a day before commissioners were scheduled to vote on the state request issue. Rohan claims he took that form to the state office where they made corrections.
Creating a government document like that was ultimately something that would have had to come from our staff, our attorney's office, and our city manager's office. So the fact that it was created without anyone's knowledge and without those things was concerning, and rightfully so.
When the city attorney asked for that copy, Rohan said it was gone.
I took the form, stuck it in an envelope, and I've looked for it, as Mr. Zimmerman said. I've looked for it several times. I can't find it.
Commissioners were quick to show their concern, alleging fraud.
You say you knew that the document was false when you took it.
That's true.
So why would you take a false document to a state office? I don't understand.
Rohan defended himself and said the allegations aren't as serious as the commission claims, which led to one heated exchange.
Why don't you just go ahead and spank me, okay?
I think you would enjoy it, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Granger made a motion to send the matter to the Florida Ethics Commission, but the commission backed off that idea and voted instead to get an outside legal opinion from Tallahassee law firm Allen, Norton & Blue as to how they should move forward. City Attorney Nevin Zimmerman will report the results to commissioners at their next regular meeting.
The important thing is to really find out what's actually going on, which is what ultimately is going to happen in the next 2 weeks, is really to try to figure out, did someone break a law? Did someone not break a law? Did somebody just cross a line? I don't know.
I don't know. Sure, right. Okay, so you ready for this? We're going to go through that again in a moment. And I'm going to break down for you the outright lies. I'll just tell you right now, and then I'm going to watch again. This was not a public record. It did not belong to Mayor Rohan, nor did it belong to the city. This was a form that a woman, that these ladies printed off of the Florida House of Representatives website. All right? It's an appropriations form that anybody can fill out and give it to their state rep and ask the state rep to. Okay, thank you. There it is. Miss Sarah Moon, thank you. She has just shown you the form. That is, you can go right now, click on that, and you can fill the form out. In fact, you should do it. Somebody should do this. Fill the form out and bring it to any of the public representative, the Panama City commissioners. And say, hey, did I fill this out right? It's your form. Hey, let me see your form. No, I think you filled it out wrong. Will you go with me to Representative Griff's office and find out how to fill it out correctly? Oh, no, that could be a crime. What are you talking about? Of course you can go there and ask him. State Representative Griffith's secretary makes changes and goes, here, try it again. It's not the mayor's form. It's not the city's form. It was never submitted. Now let's consider how many lies did WMBB just tell without even asking Mayor Rohan. They never even contacted him for questions. They just ran this story. All right, number one, Tom Lewis says that some paperwork was sent to state legislators. Here's what I want you to do, please. Please do this. Somebody please do this. Somebody send a public record request to State Representative Griffiths asking for the public record, the document that Mayor Rohan submitted. And what you'll find out, please do this. We need to be certain of this so that if anyone questions you, you know they're either uninformed or they're a liar. Okay? If they're uninformed, maybe they'll take the time to learn. So public record, just all you gotta do is send an email. Subject line, public record request. It's all you gotta do. To whom it may concern, may I please get a digital copy of the document or form that Mayor Rohan submitted that's in the news. Can I get a copy of what he submitted to you? You know what you're gonna find out? He didn't submit it. Lie number one, nothing was submitted. Number two, he illegally destroyed public records. If I print out that form, or you print out the form, and I go talk to Mayor Mark Sheldon, because you know how I feel about him. I need his help. I've turned over a new leaf. I'm going to ask him for help. Maybe he'll be magnanimous and we can become best friends. You'll see us at my favorite saloon together. Wouldn't that be nice? Hey, Mayor Sheldon, I've printed this out. I even filled it out. Do you think that this is, you think this will, if I submit it to my state rep, no, man, you filled it out all wrong. Let's go ask my buddy, because they're buddies, Griff and Sheldon. And we go there and he takes my form and we're all together and his secretary, the Griff secretary says, no, you got to do this. You got to writes all over the form. Okay, great. I'll take this form now. Thanks, Mayor Sheldon. I got my form. I'll tell you what, Bernie, I'll take the form and I'll look it over and I'll talk to the city council about it. Oh, man, that's awesome. Thank you. Is that a public record? Nope. Not until there's a meeting and he talks to the commission or the council about the form that belongs to me. So there's no such thing as a public record that was destroyed. Now, you know how I feel about public records. I'm all about public records. That's my thing. But that's not a public record. Now, there is one. When he emailed, like Ms. Sarah Moon when he emailed himself the record so he knew that there was such a form, the email's a public record. It's an email of the email's a public record. Are you with me? I'm getting carried away. All right, so that's the second lie. Third, they said he submitted the paperwork. You'll find out that he didn't submit it. Nobody submitted anything. The ladies were going to submit it. Number 4. Oh, this is great, and I'm going to show you what I said to them today. I confronted the commission today. Oh, it was hot too, man. It was hot. Because as I told you, I was sitting behind the Kingmaker watching him text. That's William Harrison. William Harrison leads these guys around by the nose. He was the St. Joe lobbyist, William Harrison. Here he is at the break telling the city attorney what to do. And there's Josh Street, who made the accusations, was trying to spank Doc Rowan and turned it into a sexual thing. By the way, when they were making these bogus allegations, these absurd, petty allegations against Mayor Rowan, he made a joke. Well, why don't you just go ahead and spank me then? To which, of course, Josh Street, who spends his time with the vulgar and dumpster diver Arthur Cullen and Griff Griffiths, he makes it a sexual thing. He makes it a sexual thing. I think you would like that, Mr. Mayor. And now you got all of the little trolls saying, oh, the mayor said spank me. Oh, I'm so offended. Sexual harassment. The mayor said spank me. We live at a time when people pretend that if they act so, this little faux outrage, you guys are so stupid. What the mayor was saying was, oh, I guess I've been a bad boy. Why don't you spank me? What the hell are you talking about? It's not even my document. It's the lady's document. Say, why don't you go ahead and spank me? And of course, and they do this to Doc Rowan, by the way. And if you know the story, it's just so ugly what they say about him and his family. But that was the underlying thing for all the people who giggle behind the scenes with fake accounts like Arthur Cullen. Oh, I'm afraid you'd like that, mister. You'd enjoy that, Mayor. The hell even, I mean, you guys are so weird. Josh, that's weird. Well, Bernie, I apologized. Okay, but it's still weird, man. And Josh, I know what you guys backed off on. And you chose this before you go to that. If this doesn't work, we'll go to that. How do you look yourself in the mirror, man? How do you sleep at night? Well, I hang out with Arthur Cullen and Griff, that's how. He probably went to lunch. Look, you can find him at lunch. You go to lunch in St. Andrew or downtown every week. They're having lunch together. These guys who conspired this story. Now you say, Bernie, but why do you think Rowan might get arrested? Because that's what they do. But is there anything else? Yeah, there is. Oh, this is bad. If anything happens to me, you're going to know why. Because this guy, William Harrison, the St. Joe lobbyist, is also, wait for it, the campaign manager for Tommy Ford, the sheriff, and the campaign manager for State Attorney Larry Bassford. If you get arrested by the top law enforcement officer in the county, his campaign manager is the guy on the right, the guy who I believe is orchestrating this, William Harrison. Pfft, holy moly. The campaign manager for Tommy Ford? Yep. Well, what if the prosecutors say, well we're not going to prosecute this BS case? That's also the prosecutor's campaign manager, William Harrison. That's why you don't say anything about William Harrison. Well, I can only sit here and watch these guys coordinate this attack, this made-up attack that Doc Rowan had a public record that he destroyed. Hey, WMBB, you dumb so-and-sos, how does he at the same time submit the public record and destroy the public record. They just make up anything, and they don't even. Wouldn't a journalist say, well, hold on a second. How do you do both of those things? There's only one document. Was it submitted or did he destroy it? He didn't do either. So here's what, you want to see what I told him? Yeah, because I knew they were going to do it. And so I told, oh, what else did they say? The end of this, by the way, I want you to see Josh Street, who made the nasty sexual joke. Doc Rowan made a joke. Oh, you want to spank me, I guess. And of course, Josh Street turned it sexual because that's what they do. They sit around and talk about Doc Rowan and come up with other schemes. Wait till you hear the next ones they have to try to get him. Because the St. Joe Company can't have Doc Rowan as mayor and they can't have Michelle Miller as mayor. So that's why these attacks are going on. Hey, FBI, hey, Homeland Security, how long are you going to allow us to suffer as citizens under such a corrupt government where the politicians don't get in trouble and their kingmakers don't get in trouble because they're the campaign managers for the sheriff and the state attorney? Can you watch out for us just a little bit? Just a little? Before they surround my home again? Because they thought I stole a Glock. Thought we might run out the back door, Bernie. You or somebody in the house. But wait, 4 months ago, we were eating lunch together for years. Blood brothers promising to clean up public corruption. Yeah, but then you told on us. I'm going to show you what I said. I'm going to show you what I said to the commissioners. Is this crazy or is this crazy? What? Doc Rowan, they're just saying they're going to do an ethics investigation on you. But what they're accusing you of, Mayor Rowan, is not an ethics violation. An ethics violation would, here's how it works. How do I know? Because I've been through the process. Okay, I've dealt with these people. I've done this. You don't just request an investigation, all right? If you don't believe me, go to the Florida Department of Ethics, the Florida Ethics Department, the Florida Commission on Ethics, and look it up. They say they want to have an investigation on Doc Rowan, on Mayor Rowan. It doesn't work that way. The first thing you do is you fill out a form. You make your complaint. You got to fill out a complaint. Step one. Step two, do you believe me or do you believe them? Step two, the commission reviews your complaint and decides whether it's legally sufficient or legally insufficient. That's step two. If it's legally sufficient, step three is then they investigate. Step four, after the investigation, the commission looks at it and decides if there's probable cause to have a hearing. Step five is there's a hearing, guilty or not guilty. Step six is that there is punishment issued. Yeah, that's the process. But ethics investigations only involve using your position to enrich yourself. Even if Mayor Rowan did all the things that Josh Street accused him of and the rest of them, even if he did all the things that they said, he submitted a form, destroyed the documents, and tried to reroute the money. None of that is to enrich himself. Those are not ethics complaints, okay? Those are criminal complaints. They're trying to set up a false arrest, or maybe like Larry Bassford, the lead prosecutor, whose campaign manager, again, is William Harrison. Maybe they can just straight prosecute you. They don't even need you. They can do it themselves. That's what they did to her. Maybe that's what they're going to do. And then they tie it up for months and maybe years, like they did to Mike Gordon, and then drop it. And nobody gets in trouble because they do false prosecutions on their political enemies all the time. So let's watch the last and most shocking allegation. You know, Mayor Miller went on the offensive when they did this to her 3 months ago. Mayor Rowan, you might want to consider doing the same if you're telling the truth. If you're not telling the truth, don't get in front of a judge, Mayor. That's what I'm saying. But if you are telling the truth, get in front of a judge. Put them in front of a judge. Put everybody under oath. Because watch what, this is particularly bad, what Josh is saying here, Josh Street. Remember, the guy I'm going to show you right now, remember the commissioner who really led the charge here, he is lunching with the people, with Griff Griffiths. But I want you to hear this. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine being on the news? You're on the news and they're accusing you of creating a document. We just showed you where they got you print it out, you fill it out, you print it out. The ladies did that. It was their document. It was a printed form. And they're going to say that Mayor Rohan created a document. He created and submitted a document, they're saying. That is a lie from beginning to end. You know, people go to prison for lying to the government. Josh Street is lying right here. Watch.
Rohan said it was gone.
I took the form, stuck it in an envelope, and I've looked for it, as Mr. Zimmerman said. I looked for it several times. I can't find it.
It's the ladies' form. He lost the ladies' printed documents. Big damn deal. It's not the city's document. It's not the mayor's document. It's not a public record, for God's sake. He lost it. He could have burned it. He could have smoked it. It doesn't matter. But what matters is Commissioner Josh Street's going to say he created the document. Watch.
Commissioners were quick to show their concern, alleging fraud.
You say you knew that the document was false when you took it.
So here's the trick that Josh is playing, and he's a lot like McConnell too, and Adrian Welly. I'm learning what Josh Street is saying. Remember, this is, and it's Doc Rohan, the mayor. He was muddy with his language, right? He kept saying the document was false. It was wrong, is what the mayor kept saying. What he was trying to say is that the document the ladies filled out was inaccurate. It wasn't filled out correctly. It was wrong. It wasn't filled out right. He didn't mean it's a false document we're trying to sneak through, which is what Josh Street is pretending. If the mayor had been more accurate in his language and said, look, it was inaccurate. The ladies didn't fill their own form out right. Their own document, their own printed form. But Josh is going, oh, you admitted the form was false and you took it to a state agency? That's against the law. Look what he's doing. Look at this. Watch this. He created a form, he says.
That's true.
So why would you take a false document to a state office? I don't understand.
Rohan defended himself and said the allegations aren't as serious as the commission claims, which led to one heated exchange.
Why don't you just go ahead and spank me, okay?
I think you would enjoy it, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Granger made a motion to send the matter to the Florida Ethics Commission, but the commission backed off that idea and voted instead to get an outside legal opinion from Tallahassee law firm Allen, Norton & Blue as to how they should move forward. City Attorney Nevin Zimmerman will report the results to commissioners at their next regular meeting.
All right, so the allegations they're making against Rohan, again, they're not ethics violations. They're criminal allegations. Criminal, not ethical. Listen to Josh Street accuse the mayor of creating a document.
The important thing is to really find out what's actually going on, which is what ultimately is going to happen in the next.
Does his body language look like he's telling the truth, or does it look like he was just sitting with Arthur Cullen and Griff Griffiths?
2 weeks is really to try to figure out, did someone break a law? Did someone not break a law? Did somebody just cross a line? I don't know.
In Panama.
Listen, I understand micro expressions when you lie, and it's written all over that dude. Hey, Josh, Commissioner Street, you just accused the mayor of creating a document and submitting it in an attempt to reroute money and then destroying the document. Boy, you better be able to back that up. I'm going to show you what I told the commission. I was going to show you that a minute ago. This is really, really hot. I hate that I have to do this, but I mean, who else? Are you going to go? Will you do it for me next week? Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down.
Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777.
Hand caught in the cookie jar? Sometimes bad habits continue even into adulthood. I'm El Saline, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
So I told you, I predicted this was going to happen last week. And WMBB is ready to attack Mayor Doc Rowan next week. Remember I told you this, okay? I'll be there. Was I right or was I right? So this is what I said at the end of the meeting. So I knew y'all were going to do this today. That's why I asked if there were going to be any additions to the agenda. Commissioner Street, are you saying that the first you heard about Doc and Senator Griffin or Representative Griffiths was yesterday? Is that the first time you heard about that? You didn't know about that before?
I'll answer.
Okay. This is a skit that you all put together. I knew about it. I talked about it. If it wasn't this, you had another one lined up. You've got, not you, but people associated with you, have fake accounts on Twitter talking about the skit that you put together. Here's what's happening for the uninitiated. The big developers are very upset that two mayors in cities that got a lot of money and insurance money and FEMA money were unelected. That's Greg Brudnicki here. Nobody thought Doc Rowan would win. And that is Al Cathy in Mexico Beach. Nobody thought Michelle Miller would win. Now, they're 2-year terms. After 25% of their term is done, citizens can initiate a recall, but only if there is a reason, one of 8 reasons, misfeasance, malfeasance, so on and so forth. So at the very same time, you guys and your supporters are coming up with a story, an ethics claim, which is unbelievable that this is the first time I've ever heard you talk about that, comfort stations, lost laptops that you all just wrote off. Unbelievable that this is the issue that deserves an ethics complaint. So here's the deal. Here's what's going to happen. Watch, if you don't believe me. You all put this skit together, and WMBB will run the hit piece to try to defame Doc Rowan as the pretext for your coordinated effort to try to recall Doc Rowan. That's what's really going on. And you've got help, of course. You've got the kingmaker, William Harrison, sitting here. I'm sitting behind him, watching him furiously text with law stuff and talking about this. He's advising you, isn't he? Here's what I'd like to do, since you're so concerned about a document that you can't find. I told you all about a document. If you want to look for a document, look up this one. RFP hashtag whatever, PC-19-009. That was a fake bid that you conspired with, Mr. Zimmerman, with Michael Johnson for a housing development, Horizon Park, for Commissioner Tommy Ham. It was all fake, and you knew it, and only one of you went to jail, and it was for something of lesser significance. So I have a spoken public record request. Any communication during this meeting between any of you and William Harrison. Thank you very much. Damn. How do I do that? Tell you what, I don't feel like that when I'm sitting there, I promise you. I'm a game player. All day, I don't feel like doing it, don't want to do it, have nervous indigestion. I get there, I don't want to do it. I get up there, and it's like, all right, Bernie, we're down by 1. You got the ball. Oh, okay. Well, clear out. That's how I used to play basketball. I really did. I just can't believe this. Oh, you asked me, Mr. Emmer just asked me, what was the answer, right? I asked Josh Street, because, see, what happened was, and I'll show you the whole thing maybe tomorrow, but I think I don't know if I have time tomorrow, but you can watch the whole meeting. So what happened was Commissioner Josh Street said, we only got this were his words now today. We only got this information last night, so I haven't had time to process it. And I know he got the information last week. I know it. That's why I said, hey, you just got this information yesterday? You just learned about this? His answer, Miss Sarah Moon, as you can imagine, was, I just got the email from the lawyer last night. because they want to pretend that they just learned about it. No, we know they knew about it for a long time. So his answer was, look, these kind of people that lie like this, I don't like them. I don't like them, but I know not to trust them. I asked you, did you learn about this yesterday like you just said you did? We just got this information yesterday. And his answer was, the email. We just got the email last night. Yeah, but y'all had been conspiring it for a week. All right, I'm going to show you one more thing. I'm going to show you, and this went on for 20 minutes, but I'm going to just show you like a 1 minute of what led to Josh Street, and the threat of the spanking, and then Josh Street turning it into something sexual. I bet you'd like that. Creepy, man. Just keep that during your lunch conversations with Griff and Arthur. Okay? Doc Rowan didn't mean it like bondage, whatever the hell. I bet you'd like that, Mr. Man. You guys, because see, I know what their other one is. I know the crazy accusations that they've got lined up if this doesn't work. And it's not going to work because it's demonstrably false. You dummies. Well, Bernie, we can make better ones. I know you can. Believe me. I know what you're capable of. This was sloppy. Hey, if I'm Mayor Rowan, I'm calling WMBB and I'm saying, here are 6 false things, and I want a correction. You've got to demand a correction, or it's kind of like in a court of law. If you don't deny it, it's admitted as fact. You got to deny it if it's wrong, and you've got to demand that they correct the story. There was no document that belonged to him or the city, number one. There's no document that was submitted to Griff Griffiths, number 2. There was no document that was destroyed, number 3. Therefore, there is no intent to reroute the money. And, Josh Street and WMBB and Jenna Halligus also said this. I'll show it to you. Not tonight, but I'll show it to you. She said that he created a document. You all are saying that you all are accusing him of crimes. Not ethics violations. I know where you're headed with this. Mayor Rowan, I would be very careful because they know they can make false arrests. Everybody in town will know it's false. It'll ruin your life. State Attorney Bassford will follow William Harrison, his campaign manager. Just do what you got to do. Drop it later. We got you covered. You're not going to get in trouble. And they don't. FBI, Homeland Security, can you please help us out? Here's about a minute of Josh Street just making all kinds of crazy ass accusations. He says he just got the information last night. He was trying to process it, but watch how certain he is now. He just is certain about it all. To which the mayor is just taking it back. It's just, why don't you just spank me then? What the hell? What are you going to do?
So, you know what? Maybe there's nothing wrong with it as far as from the standpoint of illegal or anything else like that, but it's definitely inappropriate, and you continue to push the bounds of being inappropriate in your position, and I think it's wrong. And so I don't know that there's anything that I have the control to do or anybody else on this commission, but at the end of the day, if you want to discuss something about that and act like you didn't do anything wrong, that's completely wrong too.
I disagree. There's nothing wrong with meeting with a constituent and going to a secretary and asking them how to fill out a form. We didn't go anywhere.
If that's what you did.
That's exactly what I did. We did not send it to Griffith. We didn't send it anywhere. She showed us what was wrong. We took it and left. I had the form on my hard drive. I thought Nevin wanted the original form. That's why I couldn't give it to him, but I had a copy of it, and he ended up getting a copy of it.
I do want the original.
I don't have the original. I threw it away.
So you destroyed a public record.
That's destroying a public record. If you go in your physical capacity.
Well,
every way you look at this is just not good.
Why don't you just go ahead and spank me, okay?
Oh.
I think you would enjoy it, Mr. Mayor.
So,
no.
Order. This has gotten out of hand.
Thank God for a grown-up in the room. Janice Lucas said, knock it off, you crazy people. Understand, though, when the city attorney says, I do want the document. The document you created. We all want the document that you mysteriously destroyed. It's not his, you dumbasses. It belongs to the ladies that printed it and filled it out. It's not the city's document. It's their document. It's like if you go to the DMV, grab a form and fill it out and ask the mayor, hey, can you help me? It's taking me too long to get to my appointment. You go there, the lady at the DMV fills out, writes on the form, here's what you got to do. The mayor says, I'll tell you what, I'll take that form, and at the next meeting, I'll bring it up. He loses it between now and the meeting, throws it away, whatever the hell. It's not the city's. It's not a public record. I'm a public record guy. You're not. You don't give a damn about public records. Have you ever seen these people give a damn about public records? It's their form. So just know that. Yeah, this one's not going to work because every one of you are either uninformed, and some of you are. It's my belief that Brian Granger is uninformed. But it's also my belief that Brian Granger will get informed. I think he's acting in good faith. I do. And if I was brand new to this and I heard all this stuff, I might want an investigation too. What do we do? Let's get it. I mean, I came here to make sure that everything's on the up and up. But once you learn it's not a public record, and once you learn nothing was submitted, and once you learn all this stuff, you got to adjust. Now, I don't think the rest of them are acting in good faith. Janice Lucas was. The attorney's straight up corrupt. Nevin Zimmerman with Burke and Blue, corrupt as hell. How could you say that, Bernie? I could show you. If I was here all night, I'd show you. You'd be like, damn, Bernie's telling the truth again. I'll tell you another truth. This is a big important one. All right. If you want to know, you want to see how corrupt this place is. I've been showing you this because I want you to know. Panama City Beach Mayor, he owns Gulf Coast Jam. He gets paid. He's been paid. His company's been paid more than $10 million over the last 11 years to run Gulf Coast Jam. Tax money. He's the mayor. And now that's not enough. Now he wants, number one priority for Panama City Beach, he wants the taxpayers to help get his customers to him. Watch this. It's a listener-sponsored ad. Mayor Mark Sheldon is pushing for a $10 million pedestrian bridge to connect Frank Brown Park to Aaron Besant Park. It's great for music festivals. It's the city's number one priority this year. They've got a bunch of projects, and they plan to spend $236 million. 2 years ago, the budget for the city was only $42 million. That's why locals are paying so much more in assessments to the city. Mayor Sheldon says it's worth it. After all, he owns Gulf Coast Jam. The city's number one priority will benefit his music festivals. He wants more state and federal grant money as a slush fund.
These are significant projects that will make a huge difference in our community. The first is to pursue any available state aid for the planning, design, and environmental studies related to a pedestrian bridge connecting Aaron Besant Park and Frank Brown Park. This walkover would link these two public parks and provide a safer avenue for our residents.
Mr. Sincerity, do you believe him? Even if he speaks real fervently, growls, does his shoulder, do you believe him? Or do you think he's a crook? I want to thank the Unknown Patriot for your support of my efforts to bring you the truth, put myself at risk. I wish this wasn't so dangerous. You know what I mean? I liked it better 6 years ago when I was just telling you about a few podunk politicians who were maybe getting some kickbacks in a pole barn, you know, before I learned all this stuff. Also want to thank those of you who throw a tip in the tip jar. It means everything to me. Crowdfunding is what keeps this going. It's anonymous, it's easy, and you can quit at any time. Patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. Those of you who do that, Thank you. All right, and with that, I've got so much more I wanted to show you, but, you know, you got to show you a little at a time, I suppose.